Good evening, and thank you so much to you to us this evening. This is Ubuntu channel, and we are back on Tuesday with Let's Talk Politics, right on Ubuntu channel platform that it seeks to discuss and dissect issues that have got to do with politics, right in the heart of Zambia, and it's not different today. We do exactly what we do as usual, and today we are asking the question if the current load shedding that we're experiencing has actually vindicated the former Republican president, that is Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. My name is Lawrence, hosting you. Apologies that I am not able to come on screen. This is due to the same load shedding that we're discussing about. And well, the program has to go on despite the fact that we have this current load shedding. Now, I'm not alone, obviously, hosting the usual Mukelabai with us this evening. Mukelabai, thank you so much for joining us once again, and welcome to Let's Talk Politics.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. It's a little bit sad that I don't see your face, and I felt like you were protesting. So I'm also trying to follow suit that since you don't want to come online, and I also do the same. You know, Koloboy, we use Koloboys. So I don't understand that you yourself, you're having a load shedding at your home and you can't use a light, a candle, or a Geneset or something like that to show your face.
Unfortunately, I feel like even if I use a candle, I will not be. I won't be visible enough. It just comes back to the exact same thing.
You haven't tried that.
Either ways, the program has to go on, and we have to do what we have to do. Mukelabai.
Malikuwa chafe drama pa Zambia. There's too much drama.
All right. Now, the backdrop of the topic that we are looking at is on Sunday, the former Republican president, accompanied by alliance partners, that is, presidents in the UKA partnership, were attending a book launch at the Pentecostal Assemblies of God in Minwood in Lusaka, and given an opportunity to speak, he stressed that first and foremost, he says he is actually humble, and maybe sometimes it comes off that it comes off otherwise, but he always is and seeks to be humble, as quoted by the news diggers. And also, he says that the current load shedding has actually vindicated him because he was called so much names by the current president, and he feels that probably this shows that the issue of climate change is actually real, and Zambia is being affected by the same. And he also stresses the fact that probably now the current understands the situation at hand. Mukelabai, first and foremost, before we go to the load shedding part, how humble do you see the former Republican president to be?
Well, mfiri omwana nga naferuka aliferuka grade sharp and keeps on kuferuka. Somebody who is not qualified, failed, and comes back and advises you in the subject that he has been failing, claiming that mom, this is my position. So you won't even understand, even if uh, what he is claiming may sound legit, but just the mere fact that he uh, failed us, there's no way we can go back to such. And if we have come up with the same problem we are facing with the same problem that he faced, I think the approach will be different. The approach will be different, and also the information, because most of the Zambians at that time were not told what was really happening. Instead, they were being we were being given with a lot of negative responses. Someone was telling you to go and pee, in the Lake
I
Kariba.
think,
Such,
Mukelabai,
such kind of responses, then you
this
understand.
issue. Let us look
Then
at
you,
this issue with objectiveness. I think let's be
I am
fair
I
that
am trying to
Zesco
be
on both
objective. That
uh, uh, on both occasions, Zesco cited the poor rainfall as the reason why we are having load shedding. Even when this was being said, uh, our current Republican president would actually stress the fact that, or maybe let me not say the fact that, but he would push across a narrative to say that uh, everything that is happening is because of lack of leadership. And I saw one of his tweets on that is on Twitter, where the Republican president was actually saying Zambia should never ever experience load shedding, and yet it's happening again. So why is it nevering the never that he said should never happen?
the issue is, he meant well, and when he said leadership, I agree with him 100%. You have been in power. They have the previous government were in power for how long? For how many years? And we kept on being
Uh,
fasting. We
if we
kept
can
on
speak on behalf of Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu, he was only in power
for
for
7 years. It doesn't matter. It
7 years.
was the
Yeah.
same. It was the same leadership. It was the same party that was in power. The same government that was in power. You know, and probably Michael Sata could have come up with programs to mitigate this problem of the issue of load shedding. We cannot control the weather, but with good leadership, you come up with programs and projects that we're going to sustain or that we're going to mitigate such kind of calamities when they occur. Long-term plans, not short-term plans. Right now, this government has been only in government for how many years? For 2 years, 2.5 years, almost 3 years. The first time they came, they still had a problem. Even after having the country having been ruled for 10 years, we still had problems with load shedding. But you saw what happened. This government went in full swing, starting to fix few problems here and there relating to load shedding. What did they do? They found that there were a lot of lacunas, there were a lot of injunctions, or rather debts, that were unpaid. There were a lot of monies that were used for, the machines were not properly working. There was just a lot of disaster. What do? They started working on the issues to do with the load shedding. We saw what happened. Came 2021 to 2022, you guys, you had very few people that were being load shedded, but they are still planning. This government talked about bringing the solar, start in tapping power in, coming up with projects that are going um, uh, to produce power from either solar system, not just being dependent on hydro. When we are faced with the same problem year in, year out. So I agree with HH 100% that its leadership So for us to even come in and start blaming, pointing a finger at him, the man that is busy working on, and already investors are on the way. We have seen investors coming in, starting to develop, putting things in place. Yes, load shedding will be the thing of the past. I agree with him, with the right leadership. But what did our previous leadership do? All these years, then Lelo, he wants to come and insult you and say, I've been vindicated. On top of that, we have a huge bill that we need to pay.
Okay, Labai.
Back to the owners.
Sorry to
So let Mr.
apologies
Lungu
for
not,
cutting you
let
short.
Mr. Lungu, can I finish my point? Let Mr. Lungu not be dramatic or try to think that he was the best. We had a problem with him. You cannot come here and start blaming the person that is fixing the problem, because had we had HH, to be honest with you, in 2011, or is it 11 when UPF came into power, or maybe had we had Michael Sirufyasata, lo as we speak, ngakulia solar panels, solar system Zambia, full time generating power. But this man who wants to claim that he was vindicated, he has been vindicated. That's a lie. He was busy using the same money or chasing investors. Nobody came to invest in our country. The embassies were leaving the country. People were running away. They were leaving the country. Why? Because somebody did not want to think for the future, or he just dipped his hand into corruption. He swam with our money. He danced with our money. He did everything. And today, he should be the last person to come and start talking about that. That's so, he should even be ashamed. Be ashamed. And we Zambian people should not be clapping and praising him, even listening to such kind of nonsense, when we know that this man, he was obligated to provide more better energy system in Zambia, where today we were not supposed to be facing the same problem. 2 years down the line, we're still coming back to load shedding.
I want to come in just so we can we can move together. So
yes,
this is a man that we are actually throwing so much shade on, and yet if we look at what he did for the power generation in Zambia, one of the first things that the current president did when he was sworn into power was to go and actually officially open the Kafue hydropower station, which was actually done by the PF themselves. Even if we are throwing so much shade now.
After how long?
The question is, we at least have something to point at to do with the Patriotic Front, and actually we can look at other sources like what is actually helping us the most right now is the Mamba collieries there, who are also pumping some megawatts into the national grid, and yet all these things were facilitated under the leadership of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And yet we want to make it look like he completely did nothing.
He did nothing. When we have been faced with the same problems, and we've paid a lot of money, the country used a lot of money towards the mitigation of the same problem, hydro. Today we are paying heavily, and the problem still comes back. It's like watwala motoka, walipire mpia, so much money kuli mechanic. Then within a year or within 2 months, motoka yabwela with the same particular problem, and you want to say, at least me, I tried to fix it. That's not no. we shouldn't be going there, Rene. We shouldn't not go there.
Mukelabai, don't you think the problem that we have is that we invested in hydropower, which currently we can't seem to have consistency with rainfall patterns and all that, and
Yeah,
we kept on investing in that line of
yeah.
energy instead of
So whose
diversifying,
problem
or
was it? Was
probably
it not leadership?
Oh, let me just finish my question. Can I just finish my question? Or
Thank
secondly,
you.
we we seem as a country to have invested almost all our power generation in one region, such that when one region is that region is affected, we can't seem to find a way out of it.
Yeah. And whose problem that you see, you have identified already a problem there, that there was nothing like diversifying or sourcing energy elsewhere or finding ways of challenging this problem that we know. We have been talking about global warming. We have been talking about climate change for a long time. What is it that our leaders did to pave way, or rather to create more sustainable energy if an eventuality comes, or drought comes when we don't have water? What programs have they put in place? But instead, they go back to the hydro and invest billions of kwacha. And then when rain disappears, the problems comes back. What do you call that? Who do we blame? That's why Mhakainde blamed the leadership. Even right now, if we want, we can still blame as well leadership. Who is in the leadership today? It's the UPND. So we are going to blame them. But the UPND have an excuse, good excuse. They just came into power and they are busy looking into permanent solutions or diversifying their this problem, that it should never be permanent. That's what we were talking about, even Corella. We're talking about those issues that we keep on facing problems year in, year out. Same problems, same procedures. Why can't we think outside the box? And this is where now, this current government, we hear, they are now coming up with other workable solutions. Those workable solutions are by bringing in, tapping into solar system, water harvest for people that are suffering with that are affected with agriculture, irrigations. Even though those have been there, but there's a political will now in mitigating these challenges when they come to when these challenges have come to face us. So we see a political will. Did we see this political will from our previous regime? Yes, they tried, but what did they do if not busy partying? We are in this mess because our leadership, or previous leaderships, they never thought of tomorrow. They never thought about the future, our children. These problems that we keep on facing today, we are dying of the same problems. We are coming up, we are going through the same problems. Every year, every government that comes, we have to talk about the same. There's problem with leadership, because we can't be facing the same problem. So for Mr. Lungu to even come out in his whatever party or whatever to politicize this, it's so sad. He should just say, I'm so sorry, guys. We tried our best, we failed. And these guys, the problem has come. Maybe he has some solutions as well that he needs to, but he failed to give solutions. He failed to have done something to fix the challenge. There's no water. Your machine, you spend billions. They are there.
You bought them using billions of kwacha. You repaired them. Where is the power today? They can't produce power because there's no rain. There's no water. What are you going to do? That's why this government is coming up with solutions. Had we had this government in before, maybe 10 years from now, 10 years ago, probably we were going to be speaking something else, because this government, to be honest with you, it's not just I just support UPND for the sake of support, Bambi Mulambe Peshanokolanda, because you are lazy. That's just nothing. That's not true. I see that this government is a reactive government, reacts to problems as they come. They react to problems and even plan for the problems for the future, that these problems will
Mukelabai,
not come back again.
you are calling this government a reactive government. Don't you think we need a proactive government?
No, they are reactive in terms that what I mean is that when they react when there's a situation, they will react to it and find a solution. Like what happened last year, is it last year, 2 years ago, during the first road shedding? You saw what they did, they acted. That's what I mean. That's the context I'm trying to use my sentence of a reacting government.
And we have the same problem again.
And yes, but the thing is, have they, now we are finding out that they are busy finding solutions, permanent solutions that will fix these challenges, these issues that we are facing as a country. Let's talk about fuel. They have revamped the whatever in Deni is now operational. They are trying to work on the what? The pipeline. So we can tell that by so doing, they are thinking about the future. How do we prevent the shortage of fuel? How do we curtail these draining costs in the middle here? What do we do? What's the permanent solution? Water. We don't have enough water. Why? Because there's no proper rain. Our rivers are low. So what should we keep on depending on the water, or what next? They are coming up with issues to do with the solar, investing in solar. We have heard there are investments that are coming, investors that are coming to invest into, if they have not even started, I believe they've started already in solar. And these investments take time, of course.
I'm sorry to have to cut you short there, but I want us to look at this in a very realistic, from a very realistic point of view. Here is Zambia, and you are claiming the UPND has got the answers to this problem that we are having, and probably, I don't know. I'll ask. Actually, my first question is to ask you if you are telling us that by the time we are having the next elections, we should be able to talk about this problem as one of the things of the past. And secondly, let us look at it from a regional perspective. That is in the whole region, SADC. Zambia is not the only one being load shedded here. Just like it was not the only one in the times of in most of the periods we had load shedding during Balungu's tenure of office. If we look at countries like South Africa, South Africa has had load shedding actually, as things stand, for the last 2 years. They have never stopped. It's always been happening like that, and it has become normal somehow there. And now here is Zambia, and you are claiming that UPND is going to answer these problems, and yet South Africa, with their bigger economy, bigger financial muscles, bigger everything, are unable to sort out the problem as things stand, because they've had it for quite a long time. So what kind of magic is the UPND going to use that is going to end this problem even faster than bigger economies like Zimbabwe, Botswana and South Africa?
Do you want them to fail, or do you want them to find better solutions?
Actually, I'm a very patriotic Zambian and would love them to find a solution. Yeah. But I think that's why I'm saying let us look at it from a realistic perspective.
That's why I'm saying people should not celebrate when we have faced with this calamity or with this situation. Yes, leadership plays a pivot role. Even when we talk about South Africa, you will find that they have their own domestic issues there. They have some challenges with their leaderships. You know, investors have stopped investing. People are not doing anything because there's no proper leadership. And probably this time around, they may find solutions, workable solutions, permanent solutions, but I cannot speak for them. They have their own private issues. But let me talk about my country, Zambia, especially when we have been beaten more. They say once beaten, twice shy. We know now we are ready. We have the leadership that is ready to redirect our focus on from the dependency of hydro to other sources. For example, solar system. We have the sun. Why not? The sun is busy burning us. We take advantage of the same. We turn the negative into positive. We will turn this drought to our benefit. Is that what our previous leadership used to think? Did we hear them make those pronouncements? I don't think so. They were just viva voce. They were not coming into fruition. So for me, my reaction is to Mr. Lungu to say he should be ashamed, even to come and claim that he should be vindicated when he has failed to offer permanent solutions. That's why we are going back to the same problems. And we want to say, this is the man that we gave, and he was obligated to provide us with permanent solutions that are not going to that we're not going to fall into this. That's why we're even paying so much money. We lost a lot of money. But had they diversified the source of their energy instead of being dependent on hydro, we were not going to have this problem today.
Maybe, Mukelabai, if you can help us, why is it that most countries actually prefer hydropower to solar power, first and foremost? And then I just asked you a question to say, what kind of magic are we expecting the current leadership to use? I didn't mean that you speak for and on behalf of South Africa, not exactly. But I was saying that if we look at the financial muscle for Zambia and for South Africa are even better placed to face these challenges faster than us when you look at the financial muscle. But they are also wallowing in this specific problem. And remember, I actually started by saying, let us look at it from a very realistic point of view. We have blamed the former leadership so much, but we can see that the problem is actually there everywhere, and they're experiencing exactly the same problem. And unfortunately, I don't know why, but I'm yet to read anywhere or hear anywhere where in South Africa they are blaming their former leaders, or in Botswana they are blaming their former leaders for the problem they're faced with today of load shedding. It's only here in Zambia, unless maybe I may have missed something. Why is it that here in Zambia this issue of power is so political, and yet in other countries it is an issue that has to do with for South Africa, people, when they complain to ESCOM and not to the president.
There, you are busy answering yourself questions and asking yourself questions. You know, Africa, we have issues. The whole entire continent, you know, we are perceived as a poor continent, yet we are a rich continent in natural resources. But we are stagnant still depending on handouts, even when we have our own resources. And people that don't have the resources, look at their economy, the natural resources. They are really, really, really wealthy. Who do you think we can point a finger to that is making us to be stagnant, facing the same problem over and over and over? Yet a country like Israel that lives in the desert is exporting water from the desert. We are drinking water from Israel. What's going on? Look at our friends in the deserts. We are busy running there for help to find ways of how do we mitigate this rain, this drought? Because you guys, you've had this drought for centuries. We don't know, from the time the world became the world. They have found solutions. They have made oases in the deserts. Today we are busy running there to go there and enjoy. It's a hot place when you go there in summer. But they have solutions. But yet us in Africa, we're still busy complaining of the same problem that our brothers and sisters, despite them having a little bit of finances, they go to school, they use their own brains. Plus our priorities are so different. We go and buy a jet, presidential jet costing 300 million. Yet we know that if we invest that money into solar panels, solar, it's not just solar. We can do ethanol, whatever you call. There's so many ways of generating power. You know that. Have we tried? Our universities, have they come up with research of how to generate power? How to even make rain? I've seen our brothers in the Middle East making rain. It's raining in a desert. They go with the plane out, put salt. It's science in a desert. And yet us, we are busy back again talking about the same, and then we're even mocking ourselves. Now that drought has come back, it has vindicated me. Who does that? It's leadership. You are busy laughing at yourself. It is us at the end of the day who are wrong, who are going to be laughing stock. Look, this is near my leaders or many mutan and my leaders. Just because HH pointed out to say there's lack of leadership here. And he was right. So even if that is now, it has come and it is happening in his reign, what will stop us also to point at him to say leadership? But is his leadership doing something towards the mitigating this challenge so that we don't come back and start talking about the same load shedding again? Yes, we see that. We have hope. Yes. Is this problem going to be a permanent problem to Zambia with this current type of leadership? I don't think so. We are going to find a solution. So we shall cross the bridge when we get there. So let's not blame so much, rather point fingers. Yes, but we know what we went through. We know where we are today. So let Mr. Lungu and his team offer solutions, work with the current government if they love the nation, if they are so patriotic to the nation. than going after the current president and telling that you pointed the finger at us, now you see. Because Hakainde has not failed, but Mr. Lungu failed. Simple. He failed. He went back to repair. He went back to repair the problem, to buy expensive hydro machines instead of finding other ways of dependency, reducing on heavily depending on hydro. But we could have also found other solutions so that we are getting from the solars and from the hydro and from this thermal, and we have so many sources. But instead, because of leadership, bad judgment, no foresight, you go back and invest in the problem that you have had. Lyonse uleri makandolo valekulira ngati ifike tipye yaonaika, and you keep on going back planting kandolo when you know that apangana, I can try to, instead of planting kandolo, let me try to plant cassava then, because cassava can withstand this. Then you will have a longer life. You will have enough food because you have diversified.
Mukelabai, we are being joined by Mr. Simkonda there. Mr. Simkonda, thank you so much for finding time to join us in this broadcast.
Thank you very much, and good evening, Mr. Mukelabai. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Thank you.
Okay. I would want you to give your opinion on this matter. We see the former Republican president claiming that he has been vindicated by the current load shedding that we are experiencing, because in his time, the current president was making it, was actually complaining to say all was happening because of his poor leadership. What's your take on that?
Okay, thank you very much. I think my take on this one, I think I concur with the Mr. Mukelabai. There's nothing I can say it has been vindicated. Yeah, what I can say, I think as a country we have to be serious at sometimes. I think we lack preparations. So I think when we go backwards, I don't know how much did we prepare, because looking at these issues of drought, I think we've been running starting from secondary, primary. Then I think we still have it in our mind to say there's a drought, and also there will be yes. So what we lack in Zambia is preparedness, and we are not serious. We don't take things seriously. There are a lot of countries, for example, like when you go to Botswana, it's a desert, but how these people survive? So there's something that they did. They know that it's a desert, we have this problem, and as Zambian, we know that we depend in hydro, and at one time we may face this problem that we are facing today. But how much did we prepare? How much money did we locate to this? So lack of preparedness is the preparation to fail. So there's nothing like, especially the current the previous president to say have been vindicated. It's lack of preparedness. We depend. The population is increasing. We are talking about bringing industry into Zambia, but how much power are we producing? Because those are the areas that we have to go in. We just put things on papers, but when it comes to practicals, we are very, very, very behind. I think even the Europeans, they even do laugh at us. We lack. in that if we invested a lot of money, especially we go into solar, we have sun, I think, throughout the year. If we invested into solar, I think for now we can talk of load shedding. So the problem that we are facing, this it was created 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We didn't prepare for this. We were waiting for something to happen. That's when now we start now thinking, preparing. But it will take time for things to stabilize. It will take 3 years, 2 years to stabilize. We are going to go through this until we do a right thing. For me, again, what I can say, I don't really blame, especially this politician. I blame ourselves for the voters. What we believe, especially us Zambians, we believe if someone's bring you a bag of meal, that is development. Totally, that is far away from development. That is what we believe. We believe in yako, wako ni wako. That's why when it comes to choosing leaders, we choose the best because this person I know, not that this person can deliver what we want. And also as citizens, we have to know what do we want as a country? What do we want as a citizen? What types of leaders are we going to pick? That's why these leaders, they take advantage of us because they know that these people, what they want is just material things. Someone will give you 20 quarters. So this is the person that can deliver. Definitely no. Is that kind of leadership doesn't based on someone bring you something. That's when we say this one can deliver. It's based on the policies that that person is supposed to offer, so that it works for each and everyone. So that's why this they take advantage. For example, yes, I can give you a practical example like what was happening. For example, like on a fuel when they used to subsidize. The reason why the previous government they wanted to please us so that we see that they are what they are working, but behind that there's something that is we are creating accruing we are going to debt. They are failing to pay. At the end now, we say then what we are supposed to know is what we are supposed to be done. Supposed to be buying things at a correct price. Not like this is happening, like what is happening now. We say no because of this and this. No. So the first blame is us citizens. We don't know what we want. And when you're picking leaders, when you go to vote, we just vote. Someone will give you 20 quid. I'll vote. I think for now, that is what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Simkonda, for having found time to join us. And what we are going to do right now is we are going to take a breather by just looking at a clip that we have prepared. And this is the UPND in opposition days in Parliament concerning load shedding. I hope my producer is ready with that, and then we can meet on the other side. Let's go for a short breather, and then we'll be together.
You will find Chembe River. The distance between Chembe River and Kafue River is not exceeding 150 kilometers. Plug a canal there, fill the Kafue River with water. It will flow all the way to this dam here, and then it will go and generate power. It is simple. Make a canal to connect Chembe River, which draws water from Luapula River, so that as the water, now we can say we all contribute.
All right, welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us. Mukelabai, I'm coming back to you. That was a suggestion from Honorable Garin Combo. That was we had load shedding during the. I'll kindly ask Mr. Simkonda to just mute the mic, please, as we continue. Thank you so much. So that was a suggestion from Honorable Garin Combo, telling us that it's easy, very easy. In fact, to use his exact words, he said it is simple. You just put a canal from Chembe River to go into Kafue River. We generate power. Simple thing. Why, if it's that simple, why is it not happening at this point in time, Mukelabai?
Well, thank you so much that you brought that issue. You see, that's the problem with us. We want to trivialize matters. And what reaction did the government then do towards that suggestion or toward that um, uh, innovative idea that the Honorable gave? Did they put that into account, or they threw it away and politicized it? That's why we're even playing it today, because they claim it was just politics. It is those type of ideas that can change the world, that can change or mitigate our problems. But instead, we trivialize such issues. We even look at it because he was speaking from the opposition point of view. Now, coming to your answer, your question to say, why has this not happened? How can it happen when they did not find any money? How can it happen when they found that the economy it's on its knee, still in the ICU? Where would they find the money to start prioritizing to do that when people are dying of hunger? When there's drought, we need food. We need people are dying of cholera. We need monies in the hospitals. There's so many challenges. So, yes, it was a very good suggestion by Honorable Gary Kombo, the current Minister of Local Government. And I believe they are the same people. He is still the same Kombo, and I think he still holds the same position. Does his government still hold the same position? If yes, then get ready to see something being done in that area. It was not a bad idea, but is Nkombo an engineer? I don't think so. So they have to take that idea to the technocrats, so that they can go through and assess whether it's attainable, how much will it cost. They could conduct some feasibility studies, go and check, see if at all it will be a viable project. If it's going to work for the country, in our benefit, and it's going to be maybe cheaper, why not? Why not? Those are the ideas that we need. That is how you challenge either the government in power than busy saying, I have been vindicated. Vindicated is like you're celebrating when there's a drought. You are celebrating that we are having now these challenges. They are coming back. The challenges that you failed to fix, they are coming back, and you want to celebrate because the current leadership had one time told you that it's because of your plan, because of your political will in not pursuing this issue. You prioritize buying fire engines. You prioritize buying aeroplanes, expensive planes, than venture into these viable and future innovative projects that were going to help the Zambian people. Maybe even the whole region was going to copy from what these guys could have done that time. But where? Just because South Africa, they are failing to come up with a plan B, should we also do the same? Should we suffer? Should we also go because South Africa has a big economy? Oh no, we shouldn't think like that. Such mind are very backwards. we should thrive, to come up with projects, to come up with innovative ideas, workable, cheaper, that we can afford, so that that could benefit our problem, our countries, and challenge these small issues. I talked about Corella myself last time, if you remember, where I said Corella, bulwele wafiko, and it's preventable. We can prevent it. We just need our mindset, change of our mindset. Tuambo kwata hygiene. Bonsoko tuleya. And it's starting with leadership. Let leadership, our parliamentarian, let them not just busy politicizing things that are not, they are throwing tantrums instead of coming up with innovative laws that are going to work for their people. Kosata used to charge Ngabak Sanga. I was a minister. He was a minister of local government, I believe, at one point. He came up with his bylaws where Ngabak Sanga ule fuisamate, ule sunda, murod, you pay 50 kwat. And he raised a lot of money out of that. Utot mayanda, kuchirenje kulia. Those houses were built as a result of amatene misu. The money realized from the fines that were being slapped on citizens, and the people changed their. We were now beginning to be clean. Not these days. It's leadership at the end of the day. Leadership. And to change that mindset, to bring some kind of sanity and order, we need it to take time, and we need people to be on board, not throwing tantrums in parliament, crying for being told, sit down, you are out of order. Why am throwing out my tantrum? Democracy. What are you talking about? Come up with laws that are going to help your brothers and sisters from the ground there. Come up with good ideas, innovative ideas, not quite ministers. I'm a ministers of technology and innovation, whatever. We have children that are doing well. Mumba schools, they are coming up with proper, innovative, good ideas. Umonali monomulumendo alepanga fuel out of waste. But we don't look at that. We look at it as it's something, just for that day. Then you forget about it. You don't want to develop that person because you don't know. That is how Rome was built. It was never built in one day. Small little things, small little ideas. One chap at UNZA came up with I think one of the scientist student there came up with the pregnancy test that did something like urine, putting a frog into human urine, and the frog, is it changed colors or something like that? But that was thrown away. I don't even know where that innovative idea came, or how it ended, how it died. To date, that was one of even finding out, instead of you going, women to go more away Kalama villages to go and buy pregnancy testing, whatever, they could just use it on the slime of a frog, just to check. That was discovered by a student, Paunza. But where is she? It was a she, by the way. It's quiet. Nobody talk about it. We don't even know it died a natural death. So that's how we kill the dreams. So, Gary Nkombo was correct, was right. It is management. Should they try? Should they have tried it? Had the PF tried that idea? Probably today we're going to talk about something else. But instead, they laughed at Nkombo, and they looked at it and said, if we do it, it will be like, now it's Nkombo's project, not Zambian benefiting, but they are looking at Umuntu. So it is not the right way to think in those lines. Yes, we can ask Bonkombo, what do you think now? Have you started? Let's hear. What are the hinges? But to be honest, yes, it is attainable. But the problem is that this country was in a mess. You know, you've heard the Minister of Finance about the debt restructuring, about the debt that the previous government left. You were busy celebrating fuel yali chipire mu UPND mu PF kanshi balemi shinga amafipa menso. They were busy getting food yali ninkongole, you know. And what happens when they left? That's when we discover, had the PF won, that problem would have continued.
Let me also bring in Mr. Simkonda to just give a comment on the clip that we played, and then we can move on. Mr. Simkonda,
Okay.
kindly give your brief comment to this, and then we see how we can move on from there.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I think I watched that that clip, and also I think I watched that day the parliament when Honorable Garin Kombo was debating over on that one. Yes, so I think that's why I say sometimes as Zambians we have to be serious, and we need to know where we want to be tomorrow. And we have to believe in ourselves, not let someone comes and tell, no, we have to do A, B, C, D. That's when we can develop. Everything starts with the idea. Honorable Garin Kombo, yes, he debated and he gave out that as an example. I mean, as an idea. But what did we do? By then, the time of PF, nothing was done. It was just thrown out as a part of the joke of the day. That is what they took it. But it was an idea which is supposed to be taken to the specialist engineers to look at it, and then you see how much do we need this. We start planning how many it can take for how long to finish until to this, so that as we are talking about future, we will not have this problem that we are having today. But as long as, because it was coming from the opposition part side, then it was thrown out. That's why today we're having this problem. They had this problem, the idea was there, but nothing. So now the government comes in as a new dawn government. So the issue, yes, it can be done, but how much do we have money? Looking at the debt that the previous government left, can we do? I think that is where the challenge comes in. I think it should be last week or the other week. I think I was listening to Minister of Information. I think he was asked over that same question. I think he said, I think that one is supposed to do a feasibility studies and see how it can work. I think he was asked that question. So now, as a country, we have to be serious. If that money that they spent building those flyover bridge in Lusaka, if that money was taken to go and did a canal there, today we'll be saying something else. If that money that they spent to buy that jet, we can't be saying the same thing today that you are saying here. These issues of climate change, it has been there. I think Honorable Nkombo also stated, I think also mentioned that it's been there. Until today, we're still talking about the same thing, no implementation, which means there's nothing change that we can expect. If you are still doing the same thing and expect to change, it can't work, it's not possible. So we have to know, okay, this is the problem that we have, and we have to predict. Maybe by this, it can be things will be like this. So what should we do? I think let's do A, B, C, D. What we lack in Zambia is readership. I'm sure that is what we are lacking previously, is readership. I can assure you, if today PF is in power, I'm telling you, I don't know, this country will be, I don't know. But we are lucky today, we have this new government, at least things they are moving the way they are moving. We are better like this than if it was a PF. And PF, I think, should be the last person, last group to condemn or to laugh. Even in parliament, I think we need to work together as a team. We are not working for the political parties. We are working for the people of Zambia. If this government achieve, who's going to benefit? It's us, everyone, not UPND. No, it's the all Zambians. But if we start presenting political party, I think this is another problem that we have. We really defend the political party, not the Zambians. I've seen it also what is happening, especially in parliament, especially to the oppositions. I think in that one, there's nothing that you can do as a country. We need to work together and achieve. There's nothing to say political party, there's PF and whatever. Those MPs, member of parliament, are supposed to work for the people because they are voted for by the people, not by political parties. No. I think what I can say, maybe going forward, these MPs also, we need to have at least a term limit. Maybe 2 terms you can't contest the way it is under the presidential. And also, I think we need to change the voting pattern. That is another thing that is causing, especially as Zambians. I think I was listening previously when the issues of debt structuring, very few people understand that. So even if when we say the problem that we are facing today because of the debt that we have accumulated previously, people, they don't understand. People, that what they want is to see the Miu buying at 40 kwacha or 50 kwacha. That is what they want. But how? How can we achieve that? People, they don't understand. And the opposition, they are taking advantage. And also other people, they started crapping. Yes, we're better than PF, but they really don't understand what was happening. What they believe is development is buying a Miu at 50 kwacha. That is what they understand. So we need to change the voting pattern. I think for now, that is what I can add on.
All right. Thank you so much. I think because of time, let me just give both of you a, just a few minutes, 2 minutes to just wind up, and then we can get to conclude the program. Mukelabai, let me start with you.
Thank you so much. What I can only say is that in my conclusion, my concluding remarks is that Mr. Lungu should not behave like a teenager throwing tantrums. We know that he is not happy, that he lost power, but this is not the time. This is not the time. He should be the statesman that should be offering proper checks and balances, or not even checks and balances, but advising his colleague that is in the State House. He should offer, he should bring his so-called experience, because he's been there, he knows. So that way, it will mean something. It will make us that do not like what he did to us, to our nation, that despised his regime, a benefit of doubt, that we should hold him as an elder and with respect. But if he continues making such kind of statement, careless statement, where he wants to receive, he wants to see or hear reactions from the citizens, I think he's treading on a thin thread. You should be very careful with such kind of sentiments. It may steer a lot of confusion, and he may start now steering a lot of disrespectful, and people will start not taking the current government seriously just because Lungu said something, because Lungu has his own constituency of followers. So I need him to be very careful in the statements he uses. And that is why it is not advisable for an ex-president to come back into active politics. If this man is not is not put in the right place, in his rightful place, he is going to he's going to ignite this country on fire, because he is careless. He doesn't think what he's talking about. He is reacting like children, like his colleague, like those cadres. There's no difference between him and the Rusambos. They are the same feathers. And calling him Your Excellency is even a sheer waste of time, because of his behavior. Is exhibiting unprofessionalism, is exhibiting a lot of childish, the delinquent type of behavior. And we don't want that as a country. We want to respect him because he had held a highest office of the land. And if anything, I would suggest that he resign from whatever he is doing right now. Let him just go back. If I was HH, I would just deport him, send him in some foreign duties somewhere, so that we keep peace in our country. Because this man, if he is not held, if he's not treated seriously, he will ignite this country on fire. And we don't want that as a country, as a nation.
Okay.
We don't want that.
We can now ask Mr.
Volungu, thank you, but Volungu should just stay away from politics. I think that would be the best, so that he can. I think let me end here.
Okay, thank you so much. Just a short time, give us your closing remarks.
Okay, thank you. I think the greatest enemy that we have currently is PF. And I don't know how they think. I don't know if they really understand what was happening, or if they were living in Zambia by the time they were in power, or it's us only who used to see what was happening. They don't understand. They are pretending as if everything was okay. I think that is where I find it very, I think, laughable, like the former head of state to come and start condemning. So sometimes I just look and listen. Is really this man really understand what we went through, what was happening, for him to come and say whatever he's saying and to behave the way he's behaving? I think there's more he can do. There's better thing that he can do than coming back again into politics. I don't know the types of advisor that he has. I fail to understand what advice do they give to the former head of state. If I was him, the best thing that I can do is to go and buy a farm, start farming, and forget about politics. And if we start feeling to say it's me who can make things to work, I think that is where also we're having a problem. We have a lot of Zambians with great ideas and types of leadership that can do the better job than him. This country belongs to every one of us, not him, no. Not him, no. So what I can say also to the current government, I think we need to change the types of voting. Let us this voting based on, or based on education level. For example, those who have PhDs, the vote should carry high numbers of votes compared to one with just a grade 12 certificate, and that person who have never been to school, because this country will be led by people who understand, not the way just the majority. Majority, we find that you are just this country is just decided by those people. Maybe they don't understand what is really what the economy. So if you say those with the high qualification, they have more votes, just coming like that, it will be better. This country will be decided by educated people who understand. If someone comes and explain, they understand. That someone just come giving money, no, this is the money that we want. I think that is where also we have a problem. We say no, work on work or whatever, just based on issues where you belong. No, me, I'll vote for this because of so. But this kind is supposed to be decided by people who are educated, so they understand the economy and the policies, so that we put a right people in positions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for having joined us, and everybody who was watching us on Facebook, Twitter, or X now, or YouTube, wherever you are watching us from. We appreciate your viewership, and thank you so much for the comments that came in, and for everybody who spent time watching us. We appreciate so much. We have seen Mr. Robert Mulenga, Mr. Simkonda, who is with us right now in the studio, and everybody else who was on various social media platforms watching us. We really appreciate that you found time with us, and then we also appreciate Mr. Mukelabai for always being with us, and also the man on the controls, Mr. Nkunika, for being an ever-present figure on this particular broadcast. Hope to see you next week again for another exciting program. For now, it's a good night.